This video is brought to you by Grandeur Warranty, your #1 online source for factory-backed extended warranties in the country.
Guys, I have a fun old versus new video for you right now because our friend Chris brought this. This is a 2023 Ford Maverick Tremor, which is the most off-road worthy little Maverick. And right here we have a brand new 2025 refreshed Maverick all-wheel drive hybrid, which never existed before. So what I want to do is I want to drive both of them in Andre's Pit, our off-road obstacle, through the trenches and see how they differ, and if the Tremor really is the king of off-road driving as far as Maverick is concerned. Let's do it.
All right, so I'm gonna do the obstacle in the new 2025 all-wheel drive hybrid, and it's already powered up, and you can't hear anything because I'm in all electric mode right now. I do have several modes, and you cannot get currently a hybrid all-wheel drive FX4 off-road package or a hybrid all-wheel drive Tremor package, which is why we kind of wanted to do this video, because we wanted to see how the Tremor and also the older vehicle compares to the newer vehicle. So I'm gonna descend into Andre's Pit using the logs obstacle, and of course there are many differences between these two trucks. It's not just about, you know, powertrain. It's about tires. It's about, ooh, that was interesting. I'm gonna go crawly speed because I don't want to like really damage anything. And it's a little bumpy. It's got hill hold assist. So I'm struggling to keep a slow pace. But what Ford did for 2025, it's not just they slapped rear-wheel drive onto this thing. They actually beefed up the powertrain. It's still very efficient. 191 horsepower from this 2.5 liter normally aspirated Atkinson cycle gasoline engine, but they beefed up the CVT, so it's electrically controlled and it's just more robust, and what that gives a couple of benefits. First, all-wheel drive is a benefit. Second of all, 4,000 pounds of towing capacity is another benefit. So now every Maverick little compact pickup is able to tow the same amount with maximum tow package, which is 4,000, other than the Lobo. We're not talking about the sport trucks here. All right, my lights are on. I'm gonna go into my off-road mode. Let's see, slippery mode. So I really just have slippery mode and traction control disabled. Let me try another one. This could be quite bad because it's a little bit muddy. It's a little bit muddy, and even though the system is trying, it's not easy. I really want to try to maintain not just stability but also momentum. Yeah! Woo! This is nuts. Oh my gosh. It did it. It wasn't really like, you know, even paced or stable, but it got me out.
I was just talking to Chris, the owner of that Maverick Tremor, and he actually purchased Grainger extended factory-backed warranty, and he did it within a year of his purchase of his Maverick Tremor. You could save a little bit more money that way, but no matter which vehicle you have, you can use GraingerWarranty.com. You could check it out, and if you want to keep your vehicle for a long extended period of time, past 3 years, you could check it out. You could cover your powertrain, your electronics, many different aspects, and then service your vehicle at any dealership across the country and save some money as well, up to about, on average, about $1,000 you could save. So check them out, GraingerWarranty.com. Chris, thank you for coming out.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
And kind of sharing your Maverick Tremor with us.
Yes.
So I wanted to get like a little bit of a history, like when did you get it and why did you buy a Maverick Tremor?
So I got it 2 years ago.
Okay.
Why a Maverick Tremor? So I was looking for a truck because I have dirt bikes. That was the kind of the main thing. It makes it easier. I used to have like a hitch rack on my old car.
Yeah.
I was like, it'd be nice to have a truck.
Yeah.
In general. But I wanted to have a truck, but I didn't really want to have a truck, if that makes sense.
So this is kind of the compromise, right?
Yes.
Because it's a little bit more compact than any truck.
Yes.
And so how has been 2 years with this?
It's been great. I mean, I've had no issues with it. Actually, the only issue I've had with it is I had rabbits eating my wiring.
Oh, so that could be an issue. I actually was at the dealership a couple months ago, and I guess the wires are made out of, soy materials or something else, and rodents really love that stuff. Yes. Was it a big deal, or did you catch it in time?
So he did it twice. So he did it once. I took it to the dealer. They fixed it, and then I brought it back, and then I did it again. And I thought it was mice, but I caught the rabbit in the act. I was like, I opened the hood, and there was a full-size rabbit.
No way!
On top of the battery.
Oh my God!
I don't even know how a rabbit gets up there.
I don't know. I didn't know they climbed.
There's not a lot of room around the engine, so it must have been a pretty liquid rabbit.
So how come a Tremor? Let's walk around it a little bit. How come you wanted a little bit more, ruggedness?
Yes. I mean, to be fair, I don't really use the full capabilities of the vehicle like many people, but living in Colorado, like with the snow, it's nice to have a really capable vehicle. And obviously the Tremor's that little bit more capable. And as I said, I like dirt biking. And I figured having a slightly more off-road capable vehicle would get me to the trailheads if ever.
So you don't put a bike inside, you pull it behind.
No,
right?
I put it inside.
Oh, you put it inside?
Yes.
So you carry one motorcycle, or?
I've had two in there. There's a guy on YouTube I've seen get 3 in. That's a little bit extreme, but but yeah, I get 2 in there, no problem. I mean, obviously the back wheel's on the
hangs
on the tailgate.
Here. But you could hang the tailgate kind of mid-level?
With the bike, it's like all the way on.
It's all the way.
Yeah.
It's all the way out.
But the thing I really like with the dirt bikes is it's so low, so it's like super easy to load.
Yeah, I mean, this is like my knee level.
Yes.
Almost, right? So this is quite low.
Yeah, whereas like you look at a full-size truck, it's more like here.
Yeah.
So for me, I like the ease of loading and unloading.
Very, very cool. I want to get your perspective on the new refresh. So you had like 30 seconds to look at it. First of all, let's look at the front.
Yes.
Like, what do you think about the updates? Some of the updates they've done.
I mean, they've obviously like kept it lean, right? They haven't done too much because they haven't. If it's not broken, don't fix it too hard.
Right.
But initially, I wasn't such a fan of the new headlights, but I think it's grown on me.
Yeah. What about seeing it in person? Like, is it changing your mind a little bit, or is it?
I think
about the same?
It looks about the same to me. So, I think they've kind of given it a refresh without, going too overboard. Kept what's nice about it.
I mean, certain things, if you change too many things, then the cost goes up, right? Also, that update. So I want to look at your interior really quick versus that, because some of the big changes happened inside. Yeah, so this is the original interior that Mavericks came out with, right?
Yes, although it's like the Tremor. It's got some of the Tremor stuff.
Yeah, so it has nice stitching. So it's based on the XLT. So you bought the XLT version of it.
Yes.
Which is a little bit more affordable.
Yes.
Right, which is nice.
Which I think you can't now get with the Tremor.
Yeah, because it kind of became its own trim, so to speak. Yeah.
So I think it's now like a Lariat equivalent.
But I see you have heated seats and heated steering wheel.
Yes.
It's right here, and actually physical controls.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I really like the interior. I mean, it's like. It's basic, obviously, but I think that's kind of part of the appeal. It has what you need, and it doesn't have anything else, nothing complicated to go wrong.
And you're pretty comfy in it?
I think it's super comfortable to drive.
Yeah.
And actually, that's one of the things I like most about this car is how well it drives. Like driving on, it's actually fun.
Just comfortable. And,
it's like fun to drive.
Yeah.
With I think it being a unibody and, independent suspension, it drives really nice on the road.
And you have a lot of cool buttons here because Tremors come with a fancy rear differential, so you have basically a rear diff lock.
Yes.
Right. So and you have several drive modes. So there's a lot of cool off-roady stuff in there as well.
Yes, for sure. I have never needed it, so I've never had the chance to really test it out. But
well, can I test it today?
Yes, of course.
All right.
That's probably why I'm here, because I get to test it out.
Exercise it a little bit.
Yes.
Let's take a look at the new one. I want to get your impressions.
Okay.
All right. So now, what do you think of the new design, I guess?
I mean, obviously the big screen is nice. I mean, that's, who doesn't want a bigger screen?
It's pretty obvious.
Yes.
It's right there.
Looks like less buttons. I kind of like buttons myself. I'm not, I have a Tesla as my other car, and it's just the screen, and it's okay, but I kind of like the physical buttons, to be honest.
Yeah, that's my thing, and I'll start it and I can show you. The only thing you can control here really is just a couple of features. A lot of the climate control system is now in the screen, which I also don't quite like because you kind of have to look down and kind of select through it.
I mean, I understand why they do it. I think it's mostly a cost saving, right? Because it's less, a screen.
Less physical component.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. So, I support that because we all want cars to be affordable. But I agree. Like, it's nice to have a tactile button when you're driving. You can just get to it easily.
Today we're off-roading here at the TFL Tumbleweed Ranch, and we know this place like the back of our hand, but if we didn't, we always use Onyx off-road maps, because no matter where you are in the country, you can pull up the app, you can use Apple CarPlay on your screen, in your vehicle. You could plan your trip before you leave, you could share it with friends, you could see the difficulty, you could see the pictures from those trails, you could share the pictures with other Onyx off-road users, you could do a lot. And with TFL Off-Road promo code, you could save about 20% off the annual subscription. Use the link below and click it.
All right, before I set off, try to put it in the right modes. Mud and ruts, sand, normal. I'm gonna use mud and ruts because I am actually in mud and ruts. It's really cool that Ford is doing the Tremor lineup all the way across. They used to have a Ranger Tremor, no longer in this current iteration, but they might bring it back. They have F-150 Tremor, they have a Super Duty Tremor, and all right, I'm gonna descend in the same way, trying to keep everything fair. I went into mud and ruts mode, and I'm gonna lock it up. Okay, so preparing. So now this is a 2-liter turbo EcoBoost, a lot more power overall, about 250 of it, but of course less efficiency, where the hybrid, even the all-wheel drive one, could manage about 40 mpg in the city. This does more like 20, 21, 22 in the city, and maybe 25 combined. It was really nice talking to Chris and to get his impressions, his experience with this truck. He's had it for almost 2 years, or maybe 2 years. And of course tires, these are Wild Peaks. So the tires are more aggressive. I have more ground clearance. I have a locking rear differential, basically using clutches. So, and I'm approaching the same way. I still have a mud problem. Here comes Kase. All right, I'm gonna try to maintain kind of an even pace. It's already a little bit better. I also don't want to damage Chris's vehicle, because that would be no good at all. Wow, that rear locking differential is so easy. I'm using partial throttle right now, and it's pulling me through. I mean, that's the difference, right? as soon as you have a mechanical advantage, you have a locking differential, maybe you have a tiny bit of clearance, you have different tires, it completely changes the experience. So for 2025, Ford, of course, will have a Tremor edition of the Maverick, but it's now its own trim level, and it's probably going to be a bit more expensive than what it was before, because you used to be able to get an XLT version of it, which is a little bit more affordable. So humongous difference. This is amazing.
As you can see, it's really important if you want to go past, you know, the trailhead and be a little bit more adventurous, you need something that's capable, and the Tremor has it. But I think you saw in this video, I'm not in love with every change that Ford did, because, for example, they removed some physical controls. That could be an issue for some people, but I love the fact that now all-wheel drive is available with a hybrid. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time at alltfl.com.